It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the Wyoming Cowboys assistant women's tennis coach, Coach Julie Gonzalez. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college tennis?
So actually, it's kind of funny because I initially wasn't gonna be a collegiate tennis coach, but I was gonna be a collegiate basketball coach. So I'm from Europe. So when I came to the United States in 2015, I was actually playing basketball then. Then an injury kind of let me back into like the tennis world because I didn't want my senior year to be like remembered for an injury. So I started playing tennis again, and that's kind of like how I found that love for tennis again. And now here I am as a collegiate tennis coach. So, but it's a like fulfilling profession to have because you get to help like your athletes, like you get to help them succeed not only on the court but also off the court later in life. So it's kind of nice to hear from like your future athletes that already graduate, to see how they're doing, to see like what they're up to and all that stuff. So it's just like it's a rewarding job for sure.
What was that feeling like getting to be both a basketball player and a tennis player for UMO Mount Olive?
It was awesome. Like Mount Olive itself, it's a smaller university, but it's a great university. Like you get to know a lot of people. It's like a family like university there too. So being able to play basketball there and tennis as well was awesome. Like both my basketball coach, Coach Lee, and my tennis coach, Coach Coghill, like they both work together for like practice times and all that stuff. So it's just nice to have been able to do both uh, in the US.
While being a collegiate athlete, what was that experience like being a dual athlete?
Sometimes it was pretty hard, but it's nice because you have like two families away from home. Like you have your basketball family and you have your tennis family. Like basketball, like mostly Americans. Tennis was mostly international, so you get like the best of both worlds there. So yeah, it was nice. It was good. Continue being able to continue both the sports I loved growing up. So
What was that feeling like getting to put on the UMO Trojan Green basketball jersey and the tennis skirt?
awesome. Like because from the moment you put that jersey on, you play for something bigger than just yourself. Like you play for your teammates. Like both in basketball and in tennis, it's not just you that count, it's like your teammates as well. So I love that team feeling you get when you put on that jersey.
While in collegiate athletics, what were some of your biggest accomplishments?
Like tennis wise, we won the conference tournament. So that was really nice because it was the first time for the school, but they have won a lot since. But it was the first time, so that banner's hanging up in Carnegie Arena, so that's pretty awesome. Then when I graduated, I still played a season for West Alabama, and I was nationally ranked with my doubles partner. So that's kind of cool to experience that with a teammate.
Of course, what was that feeling like getting into coaching, coming out of UMO and getting into collegiate coaching?
Being able to pick the brains from both Coach Lee and Coach Cockhill was like awesome because they had experience in the coaching world, so being able to like talk with them about like strategies, plans, game plans, like scouting, all that stuff, like you get to learn a lot. So that was great experience there.
How was that transition like from going from UMO in North Carolina all the way to Wyoming and getting to become first a grad assistant at Wyoming Cowboys?
It's different. like North Carolina and Wyoming is different. It's a lot colder here in Wyoming, I can tell you that. But no, like both places are awesome. Like I felt welcomed in Mount Olive, and I felt welcomed here in Wyoming. Like I'm just happy I get to call Wyoming home now.
What were some of the things that you learned as a volunteer assistant before getting that assistant full-time coaching job?
I learned a lot. Like my boss here, Coach Dean, he's awesome. He taught me a lot about like practice plans, about how to prepare like matches and all that. It was just being able to learn from him, because originally I was only gonna be here in Wyoming for 1 year, but that got cut short because of COVID. So then I was like, I'm not done learning from him, because he, like the experience he has and his knowledge, his tennis IQ is amazing. So being able to just kind of be a sponge and like pick up on everything that he does is nice. That helped me become a better coach right now. And I still got a lot to learn. So
Of course, what was that feeling like becoming an assistant coach and getting to help the program?
awesome. Like I can't describe how happy I am here at Wyoming. Like this place here, like from the community to the players to our administration, like it's all one big family. Everyone supports each other here. Like we had a good season, like a good conference season this year, and it kind of lived in the hallways here. Like coaches from other teams walked in the door and be like, hey, congrats, good weekend, keep it up, go Pokes, like, you know. So that's awesome. Like I haven't really experienced that much besides here at Wyoming.
What has that experience been like getting to coach both the women and the men tennis program?
So here at Wyoming, so we have a club team, which we don't really do much about it, but those are both men and women. But collegiate wise, like NCAA wise, we only have a women's team, which is nice, because you don't have to worry about sharing the tennis courts with a men's team. So you just get to, if you need to change practice because someone has a meeting that's running long, like it's just easier to do. But yeah.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've helped to build for the women's tennis program?
So we kind of go with like cowgirl tough here. So we have that like fight mentality here. That's what makes us who we are. Like the fact that we continue to fight, we don't give up, because sometimes you're not gonna feel your forehands and backhands the best, but what you can control is the way you fight on the court and the way you present yourself and the university. So we kind of put that into our team. Like that's kind of like our culture, is like keep fighting, never give up.
What does a typical tennis match look like for you as a coach versus for your players?
So we do a lot more like behind the scenes as coaches. We got to make sure the single six balls, like balls are out, and make sure that the girls know what time they have to be at the courts, what time we start warm up, which is always a little different at home than it is away. Because away we got to drive to the facility. At home the girls just get to the facility. So yeah, so for them, like basically we make sure that everything's ready for them. They just gotta show up, be ready to go, ready to fight. And then after we discuss, like as like coaching staff, we discuss like how it went, what we need to improve on, what we need to work on in practice, what went, like do we need to adjust, like get some minor tweaks in doubles teams or etc.
Of course, how does a typical tennis match look like for you as a coach?
So for me as a coach, wake up in the morning, like I'll talk about home, like wake up in the morning, go over some notes about the players. Then I head to the facility, make sure that the facility is ready to go, ready for the fans to get in there. Then after that we meet with the girls, with the team. Then they get ready to warm up. We watch warm up. We make sure that they're just ready to start playing, and then start coaching the match.
Of course, at Wyoming, what does a typical home tennis match look like?
So typical home tennis match, we get to the courts, coaches get to courts earlier, but the girls get to the courts like an hour and 40 before the match. They get ready in the team room, regrip their rackets, get taped if they need to get taped, get some treatment if they need to get treatment. So then we talk to them right before, then we start warm up an hour 15 before we actually start playing. So yeah, then we play, depending, we have 4 home courts, so we play on 4 courts, so our numbers, so 3 doubles play at the same time, then it goes 1 through 4, and then from the moment a match finishes, our number 5 goes on. From the moment another match finishes, our number 6 goes on. And then we see, and it just depends whether or not the coaches agree to play clinch or clinch play or play clinch. So it just depends on how long that day then lasts.
How does the home atmosphere look like for Wyoming?
The home atmosphere is awesome. Because we're a one state, one university, we get a lot of support. Like for example, for our senior day, a bunch of high schoolers came out from like Rock Springs, Cheyenne, like it's all like quite a while's drive, and they come and they support us. Same for like our fans here. They drive from Cheyenne, they drive from here from Laramie, they come from all over Casper. They just come from all over and they support us. It's awesome. Teams don't like to play here at Wyoming, other teams, just because of our fan base. Like our fans are the best in collegiate tennis for sure.
Who are some of the teams that you faced in your conference?
So in our conference, we got San Jose State, we got UNLV, San Diego State, Air Force, CSU. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a bunch. Nevada, New Mexico, Fresno State. That might be it. Or I may forget one. I don't know. Like, but it's a bunch. It's good competition. The conference is pretty strong. It's awesome. Like at some point, 5 teams, 5 schools were in the top 75 of the ITA tennis rankings nationally. So that was awesome.
Of course, what is that like getting to face Air Force, but then getting to face teams like San Diego State?
Both teams are different. Both teams play different. San Diego comes from sea level. They play from sea level, so they play a little bit different than Air Force. So yeah, it just depends on. It also depends on. We had a pod system, so we played. So for example, we played Air Force in at CSU, so in Fort Collins, so still in altitude, and then we got San Diego at home, which for them is like a big difference coming from sea level to altitude. So the tennis there is a little bit different.
Of course, as a coach, what is that like helping your players and keep them momentum? Obviously, when you do go to sea level versus coming on the West Coast side and getting to play on the West Coast side.
Yeah, tennis is different. So when we tend to travel to sea level, we go 2 days in advance just to get used to like the sea level again, used to like the slower balls. Most of the time when we do go there, the weather's a little bit better, so just so we can adjust to outdoor tennis as well, because at home we play indoors. But we just make sure that we're all like prepared, and we prepare the team the best way we can.
What is that adjustment like for your players to be playing indoors at home, but then going away and playing in most out away courts?
The team likes to play outdoors. The team likes to play in the sun, likes to be outside, likes to have some warmth. So they adjust pretty well. Like they're very flexible. They adjust to different situations well. And it's nice because our upperclassmen help our underclassmen. So yeah.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play collegiate tennis?
So when we look to recruit, we look on like YouTube. A lot of prospective student athletes put recruiting videos on YouTube, as well as they reach out to us directly as well. And then we look up their results. We look at their video. We look at a bunch of different, like, who did they play, where did they play, etc. So then if we're interested, we schedule a call with them. We see if it clicks. We ask them like what they they're looking for in a program, because it's got to click between both sides, because you don't want a student athlete that's coming in to be like unhappy. Like you want them to be able to give their all for the program and not just be here like I made a mistake. So we got to find that connection to where it clicks, to where they want to be here and they fit in the culture, etc.
You talk about, of course, the culture that you helped to build for the tennis program.
To talk about the culture we built for the tennis program,
Mhm.
it comes from years and years, like even from before I was here. Like it goes from like those players that were playing back then to now. Like it's just built, and like the players that we have now, they teach our freshmen, and then when our freshmen get older, they'll teach that other freshman class, and so it just keeps. That's how you keep that culture alive and that like Wyoming tradition alive.
As a coach, what is it like going out on the road recruiting those prospective student athletes, and what do you look at when recruiting them?
We look at their like how they present themselves on the court, like when situations get a little tough, like how do they react to it? Do they stay in it? Do they fight, or do they kind of just go away? But look at who they are off the court, like when you have a conversation with them. So we just look at who they are as a person, and then also like ask what they're looking, because if they want 365 days of sunshine and 30 degrees Celsius weather or 95-degree Fahrenheit, they're not going to get that in Wyoming. I can tell you that. Or a beach. We don't have a beach either. So I just kind of look to see what they're looking for, and then what we're looking for, what we need for that year too.
What does that official visit look like for those prospective student athletes looking to come to Wyoming?
So they'll come. We'll take them to team breakfast. We'll have them meet. So we'll ask them what they're interested in studying. Let's say they're interested in studying business. We'll have them meet with like a business professor, just so they can kind of get a feeling of what that's like. Along with, if we have any players on the team that study business, they can kind of ask them questions too. We'll show them around campus. If we're practicing, which most likely we are, they'll come to practice, weights, eat at the training table, which is the restaurant just for student athletes. Meet with the nutritionist, meets with our sports supervisor. Depending on when they're exactly coming, either we take them to like a football game, basketball game, just so they experience what a game like that is like. If we have a home match, for example, for tennis, they come to the tennis match, so they see our fans and kind of what we do during home matches. So it just depends on when they're actually coming. If they're coming in the fall or in the spring. We've taken our recruits snowmobiling or four-wheeling, just to have them see like the outdoors, because it's pretty outdoors here, so they get to see the nature a little bit here.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like getting to show those players, those prospective student athletes, the jersey that they'll be wearing and their facility that they'll be playing in?
It's a nice feeling, like, because like talking about Europeans, you don't really play in a team. Like it's more individual. So when you show that and you show it around, like it's more like you'll be part of something bigger than just you. And I like I mentioned that before, like it's like I had that feeling too as a player, like you're playing for something bigger, like you're playing for your teammates, and that's kind of like what you want to show them too. And sometimes it takes a while for your incoming players to understand that, but then when they get it, that's when like it just clicks. That's when it goes good.
As an assistant coach, was it like seeing those freshmen put on that tennis Wyoming jersey for the first time versus your seniors putting it on for the last time?
Bittersweet for both moments. um well, a good thing we're not done yet, but because we got the NIT coming up in 2 weeks. But having our seniors put on that uniform there and then play their last matches there it's bittersweet. Like, I mean, you see them evolve from being obviously younger to what they are now, ready to graduate and ready to get into the real world and all that stuff. So it's just it's a nice feeling, like both ways, like for freshmen and for seniors. It's just a nice feeling.
What is it like seeing those players go on and achieve great things outside of collegiately, whether it's in their profession or going playing professional tennis?
It's just, I mean, it's the best feeling, like to be able to help them reach that point in life, like whether it is, like you said, whether it is continuing to play tennis, or whether it is to go and go into like a business, or like it's just the feeling that you were able to help them get there and prepare them for it is nice, because sometimes it's not easy. Like all of a sudden you come from being a student athlete where things get done for you to having to go out in the real world and having to do it yourself. Like it's different, but we try to prepare them the best way we can.
Of course, what are some of your future plans for the tennis program moving forward?
Some of our future plans, build on this season for sure. Like we had a good season, tournament. We didn't do that good in the tournament, credits to the team we played though. But yeah, so it's continuing to grow, continue to be able to peak at the right times, and to continue to teach them to take those opportunities with both hands. Like, don't be scared going out there. Just go out there and battle. Like, embrace the moment. Because I mean, before you know it, it's over. So you gotta embrace those opportunities you get. You gotta be brave during big moments.
So far as the Wyoming assistant coach, what are some of your biggest accomplishments?
Some of it would probably be the regular season conference title this year. Like that's probably the biggest one so far.
Of course, what advice would you give those high school athletes looking to go into playing collegiate tennis?
To just go out there and work hard every day. Work hard every day. Don't let yourself have like a bad day where you don't feel like practicing and you just go through the motions. Just try to push yourself through it, and just fight. Like, carry yourself well. Like, don't misbehave. Just do the right things, even if it's just little things. Like, just do the right things.
What advice would you give those collegiate athletes competing for the first time as a freshman for tennis?
Enjoy the moment. Like, just go out there, play hard, play smart, do what your coach tells you to do, and have fun. Like, tennis is fun. Like, it needs to stay fun. Like, if you work hard and you do the right things, like, it will be fun. But just don't go out there and be tense. Just, it's tennis. You've been playing this sport for years and years and years. It doesn't change whether you go from a certain to like a freshman in high school. Yeah, there's a little bit of like nerves and jitters and probably stress, but just go out there and like enjoy the moment, enjoy being out there competing with your teammates.
What advice would you give those collegiate tennis players looking to play professionally?
Take care of your bodies, because you're gonna need your body after college. And then just continue to work hard, continue to do the right things, continue to fight, and grab those opportunities with both hands. Like, if you get a wild card to play in a 25K somewhere in your home country or somewhere here in the US, like, doesn't matter. Just grab those opportunities with two hands. Just go out there and play tennis. Like, go out there, play your best.
What advice would you give those collegiate athletes that are playing tennis looking to get into college coaching after their collegiate career?
Learn from your coaches. Like, ask them questions like, hey, what about this situation? What should you do in this situation? Just be like a sponge. Like, listen to them. Like, listen how they interact with players when there's like a certain moment, or when there's like a tough situation. Just being able to like absorb and listen and ask questions. like go talk to your coaches, go see what they can like share with you to get you to a point where you, because as a coach, like you find your own identity, but there's always mentors and always those coaches with years and years and years of experience that you can just listen and like learn from them. There's a lot to learn, even from the way they carry themselves when they're coaching and stuff. So that's all just things you gotta like absorb a little bit and learn from. That's the best way. And find yourself a good mentor. If you want to get into coaching, like find yourself a good mentor or 5 that you can just talk to and ask questions.
What advice would you give those collegiate coaches looking to go coach as an assistant coach and then make that jump one day to become head coaches and stuff?
Networking. Like networking is big, because the world of tennis it's small. You never know who can help you out somewhere. Like let's say you want, like you're a GA, you want to get into, or you're an assistant coach and you want to get into like it's just all about connections and getting your name out there and learn. Like just learn. Be
That's
willing
great.
to, and be willing to, even as a coach, like you still need to be willing to be coachable by like your mentors, for example.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the Wyoming Cowboys women's tennis program at?
Where can you find us on social media?
Mhm.
So on Instagram, you can find us at YO Tennis, and then on Facebook, it is Cowgirl Tennis.
Thank you again, Coach Julie Gonzalez, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the Wyoming Cowboys women's tennis coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach
You've
Julie
been watching
Gonzalez, for your
Brandon
interview, and
Sports
best of luck
Talk.
in your future.
Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.